speak to that agent out there that's like, they're not sure if they're going to make it. They believe they can, but they believe they can't at the same time. And they're having those days where they just doubt themselves like crazy and they're not doing great and they need some inspiration or a path or direction. Like, why do only 8% of agents make it?
At the risk of getting no likes on this video, I really believe it has to do with work and that effort that you put into it. And that's not to say that people that work hard don't fail, because I truly believe that in that 2-week period that I pitched my heart out and couldn't get a single person to say yes, even when I offered it to them free, I was working hard. But so there's two pieces to things in my mind. Either you're not working hard or you're working wrong, right?
Hey, welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We are back for Power Players once again. I love doing this podcast. And we have a special guest today from Hot Springs, Arkansas, Executive VP with Eldercare Insurance Services, a massive, massive group helping thousands of agents, probably tens of thousands of agents by now, all over the country. Please welcome back Mr. Jeremie Pielemeier.
Awesome. Cody, thanks for having me. First time, long time, right?
Yeah. It's been I think 18 months or so, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I think the last time we jumped on a recording together was a MedSup conference in a town that I can't say.
Schaumburg.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. I may be pronouncing it wrong, but I'm originally from Arkansas, so we can both get away with just mispronouncing stuff,
Yeah. So do you say y'all and
oh, yeah.
When you're going down the road, it's just a piece down the road. You're fixing to do something, all that stuff.
Fixing to do something. That's right, man. Are you originally from Arkansas?
No, I'm from California. I moved to Arkansas.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it. Okay, but you've picked up some of that slang along the way.
Yeah, for sure. I'm I would say I'm an Arkansas boy.
I love it, man. That's awesome. Well, I know that for those that don't know Jeremie and his story, I think I shared this last time we were on the YouTube interview, but just in case we get a bunch of new listeners and watchers today, I remember we left Mutual, went on the independent side of the business, went down to Hot Springs to hang out with Eldercare, and everybody was walking in like, dude, this Jeremie cat is like, he's the dude. He's an incredible salesperson. He's making 6 figures. And I'm like, doing all this stuff and like selling a ton of policies. And I'm like, man, I got to meet this cat. And then he walks in and I'm like, dude, when I grew up, I want to be like Jeremie Pielemeier. And that's what I've been shooting for ever since.
Yeah. And then you jumped right over me just a couple of years into this 8% deal that you're crushing. So yeah.
Dude, I love it, man. I appreciate your time. Guys, this is a super impressive dude running a very, very large company. For those that don't know Eldercare, man, tell us about Eldercare Insurance Services.
Yeah, so we're like a lot of groups out there. We started in 1982. Our founder, Tony Bettis, was an insurance agent that felt like, he, like many entrepreneurs, had a better way to do things. And so he jumped out, just like you described when you went from a captive setup, which was Tony, to a more independent group. And he's really a company that caters to agents that was founded by an agent. And so it's not this idea that Tony did what he is helping agents do. So he knew it inside and out. And so we have really just an agent focused organization. The agent chooses what products they're going to write every day when they talk to a consumer. And as well as I do that in this industry, you can get a contract from anywhere. And so service is really what needs to set you apart. So we really hope that anybody who's worked with us in the past, now, or in the future sees that we're focused on that service piece. And I think we even talked about this in the past several times. I would describe our organization as this 1950s mentality. I love all the things you said about me. That's great, but it really comes down to, we just try to treat people right, do the right thing, and hope that translates to great relationships with people.
Dude, I love it, 100%. And I can attest to and like say that I've personally worked with Jeremy and Jennifer and the whole elder care team, and they are extraordinary at providing serious service for an agent. I actually hear that lacking, by the way, a lot. Like one of the biggest things I hear is like I'm with this group and I don't even remember their names because they never talk to me, or I got a contract and I just have like 20 contracts, 20 different places, and I don't love any of them, but you know what I mean? But I'm telling you guys, the service is incredible. You have an amazing team, super impressive, great operation, huge office. I mean, they have a freaking office building with an elevator in it. It's like, dude, I didn't even know that, I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know that existed in Arkansas, but it does, which is great.
Yeah. So funny story on that is our building is 2 stories, and I'm on the first floor. Jen, as you know, is on the second floor. You've been here, so you know what it looks like. But when we had our grand opening, like the Chamber of Commerce comes, cut the ribbon, so it's big party, bunch of people, and I got on floor 1 and pushed 2 because I'm going up. So there was a guy in there, and I got off on 2, or the door opens, so you do the whole like go ahead, and he says, "No, I'm going up 1 more floor." So I was like, "Okay," but he wasn't, because it was only 2 floors. But I don't think he realized that at that point. So only 2 floors at the Eldercare building, and if you're going up past 2, then you're going to have some challenges.
Yeah. If he's going to heaven or what he was doing, but he was on his way, man. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, also too, like I can attest to like y'all have an amazing operation, super professional organization. But for those that don't know, like who is Eldercare a good fit for? Because I don't think you're a good fit for everyone, in that like you're not servicing a bunch of PNC, right. But overall, who are like, you obviously have a very strong backing with Medicare, Advantage and Supplement. However, you do still service all the final expense and a lot of the life side. Who is Eldercare a good fit for, though, if we had to like sum that up?
Yeah. So on the product piece, as you mentioned, we don't do PNC. We're focused on MedSup, MA, those ancillary products that complement those, hospital indemnity, cancer, final expense annuities, which I would say is probably the normal senior market products that you would expect to see. For years and years, we did focus on just the individual agent, because that's really who we were as we founded this company. That's that agent that writes, look, 1 app, 500 apps, it doesn't matter. One of the things that we really work to make sure is one of our core values on a daily basis is this idea that app count doesn't matter. And what I mean by that is, I think, look, we all strive to be a business like Chick-fil-A, where everybody smiles, everybody is super happy, treats everybody great. And if you go through Chick-fil-A, whether you buy, a French fry or a party tray of, 200 nuggets, you get the same service. It's like, it's not about how big your order is how good you get treated. And I think in a lot of industries, not just the insurance business, like the bigger the client is, then the wider the red carpet is, so to speak.
True.
We want that service for agents to be exactly the same, regardless of how much business you do. So if it's 1 app a year or 1,000, those calls get answered. We get back with you the same day. All of the things that are important to that individual agent is what's important to us, because as you mentioned, I am an agent. That's where I started. That's what I know. And so we want that to be something that you can count on when you're out there and you pick the phone up and call us.
Yes. Yes. And how did you end up where you are? Like, what's your career background and trajectory look like?
So sales guy through and through. I think I told you on the last conversation we had, I started selling candy door to door when I was 13. Like, you knock on the door, you give the pitch about the $15 peanut clusters. I ended up in like the window and siding business.
Wait, so you were selling $15 peanut clusters?
Yeah, and this is, look,
like I'm selling $1 chocolate bars. I told you guys, Jeremy's smarter than me, man. He's selling $15 peanut clusters. I'm selling $1 chocolate bars. They
may not have been $15. I was adjusting for today's inflation rate.
They would be now, though, for sure.
For sure. So that's all I've known. My career path did not take me to college. It took me to a window company here in the town I live in, where I learned a tremendous amount. I was surrounded by amazing leaders, and I really learned how to, just to work hard. And I think that we talked about this on the last podcast that we had. As much as I'd like to tell you that I'm like the smartest guy on this meeting right now, I'm not.
He is. Well, Dylan's backstage though, so I don't know, man.
Okay, so I have a 33% chance, but here's the deal. We sell products that people need. Like when we're selling Medicare, you're selling to people that have Medicare, right? They have to buy something, and the industry's changed so much since I started. Now you have plans for people that are on Medicaid. You can put someone on a plan if they're not health qualified. When I started, and back to, you mentioned a carrier that you guys worked for, you had health questions. There were 10, 12, 15 of them. If they answered no, you couldn't write anything. You just had to say, hey, Miss Jones, thanks so much, and move on. Now, as I mentioned, there's something for Medicaid, a veteran, a not health qualified person, if they have a chronic illness. And if you're selling final expense, like people are going to pass away, they have to have what we have. And so I think success is oftentimes caught up in this, like, well, if I had better leads, and I'm sure you've heard that, like the leads are no good. That's not why I'm selling. Or like this business, I'm gonna steal Sean Mike's line. Everybody knows Sean Mike. This business is so easy that if you're not successful, you're just not working hard. And I think that so many people are looking for a way around hard work. That if you just get up every day and get out there and do the right thing, that, success happens. And Sean Hendricks, who is, I don't know if you know Sean.
Yeah, with Galen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him a shout out over with Taylor Martin and Galen. He has this huge thing on his wall. It's like right behind him if you've ever been on a video call with him. And I love the line. It says, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." And I think it just touches on this piece that hard work is the missing ingredient. And so I went to this organization, and I was taught early on that hard work was what got you, to that destination. We worked 14-hour days, 12 to 14-hour days, 5 days a week. We joke around and we say the ideal, what we call the short shift, was 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Right. So if every 5 weeks you got the short shift, which was only 12 hours a day. And so when I left there and came to the insurance business, I wanted to work part-time by my old standard, which was just 8 or 9 hours a day. And so I loved that. And it really put me in a spot where you just come in and you work hard, success happens.
Yeah, it does, man. I mean, I haven't been doing this, but I was just in for like 5-6 hours on Saturday, taking 16 calls from like 9 to 1. And man, the team and we had some people that came in and had some fun, and like, dude, I missed that. I'm like, man, I really enjoy, we enjoy, like, we do end up getting a little luckier, but we also, like, if we enjoy what we do, like, we just enjoy working. Like, it was funny. People were like, everybody's like, talks about, there was an agent earlier that's like, yeah, I'm just trying to retire my upline. It was like a joke, but it's like, dude, the upline didn't want to retire, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they probably love this and just want to keep doing it, it's interesting how that works.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. It's a great business. And I mean, look, no matter what you do, I'm sure Steph Curry's like, oh man, I got to play a basketball game today, to his wife, because I think that things can be a grind, but it's an amazing business. And if you've ever been on the end of that call when, a consumer, maybe someone's dad passes away and the daughter calls you and asks about the life insurance policy that her dad has, and you're like, hey, it's $10,000, and she starts crying and is like, oh my gosh, this is what I needed. That's what we get up every day for. And that's an amazing phone call that I get to be a part of, if I did my job.
True. Yeah. 100%. I think you wrote, I think you made, I don't know, like multiple six figures back in when you first started. What did that look like? What did you sell, for those that really don't know your story?
Yeah. So the quick rundown is, because I think it's important to tell you where I started before we talk about my success. So the short version is that I sucked at this job, and I started selling insurance and nobody would buy from me. I was pitching my little heart out like so many people do, running these lead cards up and down the road, and nobody would buy. And I gave a pitch to a lady. She told me no, I could save her like $50. MedSup was what we were selling. Strictly
That always
MedSup.
drives me nuts if we could literally give them the same plan for less money and they say
Yeah.
no. And I'm just like, it's happened to me plenty. I'm just like, what did I do?
Yeah. So in this case, I could save the lady $50. I'll leave the carriers' names out of it, but was going to take her from an F plan she had to a different F plan. And she said no. It was 2 weeks of me just like totally failing miserably. And so just out of desperation, I said, if you'll take the plan, I'll give it to you. Like I'll pay for it, which I didn't have the money to pay for it because I was just struggling, no sale insurance agent. And I'm sure the Department of Insurance wouldn't have loved that, but it was just kind of a, frustration statement. She said no. And I was like, I can't give this stuff away. This is the worst job ever. And so I decided I was going to quit, told my girlfriend I was going to quit. Her dad was my manager. And so I told her I was going to wait till the office was closed. And so she told him, even though she wasn't supposed to, he was waiting on me when I got there. He spent a couple hours with me, really investing in me, one of those key people that helped change my presentation, pointed out some of the things I was doing wrong. And then I went on to be the first agent Eldercare ever had that wrote $500,000 in new business premium. And so when I say new business, I'm talking MedSups at $115 a piece. This is back before leads could be transferred into you. I had to call and set my appointments, Monday, Tuesday for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and go out in the field. And there was no phone sales. Everything was wet signature. You had to hand deliver policies after you wrote them. So it was a different time than it is today.
That's like 400 policies. That's a lot of business, man. That's a lot. That's awesome. And why Medicare? Why then? Why now? Why should an agent pay attention to it that if they're not?
Well, Medicare for me was this was kind of the opportunity that I had through some relationships. And truth be told, I don't think I knew the difference between Medicare and going to space at the time. But looking at it now and just the passion that I have for the business and helping people, it's 10,000 people a day turning 65. So the market that we have is just continuing to explode. And it's a market that people have to buy something. It's just, are they going to buy it from Jeremie? Are they going to buy it from Cody? And so it makes sense. Like there's no better place to be than where the action's at. And that is this senior market space is folks need help. And I know with technology today, you would think that everything's at their fingertips, but it is, there's something to be said about that interaction with the consumer when you talk to them either on the phone or in person, and hopefully build a relationship that lasts the rest of their life. I'm at the point now where I'm getting referrals from people that I wrote their mom 20 years ago. And so it makes me feel kind of old. But it's a great business. And as you look at it and you think of, the success story you've had, your dad's had, so many people in y'all's business, it's amazing because you not only get to do something that helps people, which I know sounds like a cliche, but like we get paid to do it. And most of us that have been fortunate enough to see any level of success get to continue to grow a business, have flexibility with our schedules, not miss things that are important like kids' ball games and graduations. And so, the downside is you've got to be a good boss of yourself because no one's calling you to get up in the morning. And if you're not a good boss of you, time gets away from you and you miss those opportunities.
True. So true. Speak to that agent out there that's like, they're not sure if they're going to make it. They believe they can, but they believe they can't at the same time. And they're having those days where they just doubt themselves like crazy and they're not doing great and they need some inspiration or a path or direction. Why do only 8% of agents make it?
At the risk of getting no likes on this video, I really believe it has to do with work. and that effort that you put into it. And that's not to say that people that work hard don't fail, because I truly believe that in that 2-week period that I pitched my heart out and couldn't get a single person to say yes, even when I offered it to them free, I was working hard. But so there's two pieces to things in my mind. This is an oversimplified version because, is either you're not working hard or you're working wrong, right? You ever been leaving a restaurant and you're trying to open the door, and no matter how hard you try, you can't get it open because you're pushing when you should be pulling, right? You can sit there for 10 minutes, an hour, 2 weeks, and it doesn't matter how hard you push. If the door is a pull door, it's never going to come open. And so I think that for me, at least, that effort was there, but it was wrong effort. I was doing it wrong. And so we know this is a business that works. We see it every day. We hear the stories, we see the stories, we see the numbers on the leaderboard. And you're selling something that people have to have. So I have to ask myself, if I'm not seeing a level of success that I want to see, is either, am I not working hard enough to get there? Or am I doing it the wrong way? And I believe it's one of those two things. It's no more complicated than that. And so I think we just have to figure that out as individuals, and then go from there.
True. Yeah. And if they're listening, they're like, man, I like this Jeremie cat. I'd love to, learn more about him and Eldercare and everything they're doing and how they can help me better. Where should we send them? What should they do?
Yeah. So they can always call 1-800-999-7340 and get our office. Do I say something like, the numbers below me, or,
Yeah, that's perfect. There you go. Yeah.
So just check the number right below me in the comments or wherever you're going to put it. They can go to eldercarebroker.com. They can email me. It's Jeremie with an IE. So JEREMIE at EIS. E is an elephant. IS is in Sam group.net. So Jeremie at EISgroup.net. And, look, I have told people all the time, and you touched on this earlier, is like, we're a great fit for a lot of people. You might have great relationships somewhere else. I'm all about helping people. Like I've got where our organization is where it's at today because someone helped us along the way. And anybody who feels like their success is 100% a result of them and only them is just wrong. And so anybody listening can reach out, shoot me an email, ask a question. There's no strings attached. You don't have to move all your contracts to me, or we just want to help people, help folks out there, and feel like if you do the right thing, everything else takes care of itself.
I love it, Jeremie. Phenomenal interview once again. Thanks for the energy, positivity, and being willing to help. And I appreciate you coming back on the Power Player podcast.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the time. Thanks so much, as always.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremie. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you listening to Power Player Podcast once again. Let us know in comments below what you think of Jeremie, Eldercare, and everything we're talking about today, what your favorite part was, or what you're like, you know what, dude, I don't like that, man. Either way, we'd love to know, and we'll see you on the next episode. Adios. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. Special guest today. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. I got a couple special things for you today as well. From Woodland Hills, California, with Gaspar Insurance Services, and a brand new book literally launching right now. Please welcome